Yeah, so this is a tricky hand. We've got 10 points as North, but we've got 5-5. So I guess everyone would be maybe going to open one spade. Is that what people did? Maybe not. And I think South will bid 2 hearts. I wouldn't bid with West, even though West has 12 points. They don't have a very good suit. And now North has a really difficult bid as their second bid. So that's really hard. If you rebid 2 spades, your partner might imagine that you've got 6 of them, maybe. If you rebid 3 clubs, your partner might really think you've got a good hand, which you don't have. What would you do, Laura, with that North hand?
I've just jumped into sort of the results and had a look at what ended up happening. I found a couple of people who did open one spade, a lot of passes, and someone who had a multi-2 in the kit bag. Just in terms of what I do, so where are we up to? We've got a spade, passer. Well,
Spade
playing,
pass
also
2.
don't forget, yeah, playing standard, they're bidding 2 hearts. I'd be bidding 2 spades. Personally.
Yeah, I think if we bid 3 clubs, that should show a pretty good hand, which we really don't have. We've just got a minimum hand. So maybe bidding 2 spades says we've got five spades. Not much else to tell them. You'd have to have an agreement with your partner whether it showed an extra spade or not.
Yeah, definitely. I like to think of it as a term that I think Pete came up with, actually, of concealed suits, with the idea that it'll often be 6, but if there's any concealed suits, which are ones that they haven't had a chance to bid between responder's bid and the rebid of the suit, then it might only be 5. So here, clubs and diamonds would both be concealed suits.
So I think over 2 spades, South will bid 2 no trumps, because that will show their hand. I don't like the idea of passing 2 spades, because that might end our dialogue. So I think we should keep bidding as South and bid 2 no trumps. And North will either pass that or might introduce their clubs now and bid 3 clubs.
The problem with introducing their clubs is it's pretty hard to avoid getting to game if they do that.
That's true. So maybe the auction might stop in 2 no trumps. That be a reasonable contract?
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable spot.
Seems to have play, because you've got 5 possible club tricks, a couple of diamonds and a heart. Yeah, you might get home. If you're more ambitious, you might get the 3 no trumps, but I can't quite see where all your tricks are coming from.
Someone managed to, the two people who did bid 3 no trumps, they did get to make it. Someone got to make a few extra freebie tricks along the way as well.
Well done. Because the defenders can take potentially 4 spade tricks and a heart trick, I guess.
Of course, all that bidding of spades that North will have done will have turned the defence off that plan, though.
Yeah, they're not likely to lead spades, are they?
No, so
I would have thought West would have led a diamond, but that seems normal to me.
Yep, seems pretty normal. Yeah, if we do not touch on anything that you were specifically wondering about for a hand, just type in a subsequent follow-up question and we'll come back to it as well. So why don't we jump into board 5 next? So what you want to do if you're looking at your replays is click the close button up the top right of the replay for number 1, then go to the blue TV icon next to board number 5. We did have a couple of people end up in slam here. One made it, one went down, and then we had some people just stop up in game.
So it looks like East would have opened 1 heart, and West might bid 2 clubs. East will bid 2 diamonds. And then West has a kind of an interesting bidding problem. They're a bit good to maybe just jump to 4 hearts. So maybe West will bid 2 spades, 4th suit forcing. People familiar with that convention, Laura?
I think a lot of people would have seen 4th suit forcing before. I have to admit, personally, I'd be feeling a bit guilty about showing my heart fit so far down the track in the auction, but yeah, you do have a bit of a problem in terms of being able to describe it unless you had some sort of raise structure in place.
So you might bid 2 spades, which really says I've got an opening hand, but I've got a bit of a headache. I'm not sure what to do. East will bid 2 no trumps because they've got the spades covered. And now I think West will support the hearts by bidding 3 hearts. And now East might get excited. If you get to the giddy heights of 6, it looks like you have to play the side suit. You have to play ace, king of clubs, and then ruff a club. When you do that, suddenly all the clubs become good. Is that right? That gives you 5 hearts. 5 hearts, 3 spades is 8. Diamond is 9. 4 clubs is 13.
Yep, that works out nicely today, or you might go down the more simple path of sort of trying to play on diamonds and set up a diamond ruff.
Oh, yeah, that's another possibility. Yeah, that's another good plan. I'm a bit nervous about the whole hand because I'll probably lead a diamond. I'll probably lead the jack of diamonds. If you lose the lead, you're now going to go down. But because the clubs are kind of friendly, you might get home in 6 hearts.
I reckon you're right if you win a diamond and play a diamond back at them, because you'll be able to ruff a diamond, like lose 1, ruff a diamond high. Seems
yeah,
right.
that will all work out well. All roads lead to...
Yep, although mine doesn't lead to 13, which at match points could be the difference.
That's true, but if you bid slam and you make it, you probably get quite a nice result.
Yeah.
90%.
I have to admit, I hate these ones where sort of both players just have that little bit extra, but no one can really, deduce if it's enough to keep going or if they should put the brakes on. I think they're really hard hands.
Yeah, lots of very strong pairs might only end up in 4 hearts on this hand because you've only got about 30 high cards, I think. Maybe a bit more. 32 maybe.
Again, if you've got any follow-ups that you want us to discuss, just type them into chat. Why don't we move into board 10 now? So you will have to potentially scroll down to access your replay for board 10. Just in terms of doing that, if you're on a tablet, sort of drag up, and if you're on a computer, there is a little very thin scroll bar on that right-hand side of the scoring area to scroll down, or if you've got a little wheel on your mouse, that'll do the job as well. So board number 10, everybody, and this time in terms of where we had people get to, everyone got to 3 no trumps by East. So no one got any higher, and there were sort of 12 and 13 tricks made around the room.
Okay, so East will open a diamond because they're a little bit good. East's a little bit good to open a no trump. I think East has 18 points. South might overcall a spade. Would anyone do that? Vulnerable. Fairly aggressive, 1 spade. Anyone bid 1 spade, do you reckon, Laura?
I can name a few people around the room that would have bid 1 spade on that. I'd be bidding spades. I love overcalling spades.
They'll go 1 diamond, 1 spade, and West will bid 2 clubs. I think one of the players at the table will be falling asleep. They'll pass. And then it will go back to East. And East knows that West has about 10 or 11 points for sure. Is that right? So East will jump to 3 no trumps. And I can't see any particular reason why West would bid any more, because West has only 5, 8, 10, 12. So West can't really see any higher contract making, is that right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable that they'll just pull the pin there. In terms of showing 18, 19 balanced after partners 2 over 1, then yeah, you've basically still got to make that jump bid in no trumps, so not just 2 no trumps, but jumping up to 3 no trumps.
Yeah, if we rebid 2 no trumps, that would just show 12 to 14 points. So I think bidding 3 no trumps shows a good hand. West likes their hand. They've got 2 10s, but I don't think West can count the tricks at that point. It's very friendly, the hand, because the king of clubs is finessable. So you can finesse that. The diamonds break 3, 3. And if you get a spade lead, the spade will run around to your jack. So life is easy on this hand for declarer.
Yeah, life's very easy for declarer. As it is, I think this hand ties really nicely back to what you said before the session on counting points and being able to read this auction as the South player, and knowing that there's 18, 19 balanced on your right and that the player on your left was also able to make a 2 over 1, you can tell that your partner's going to be pretty sleepy over there.
Yeah, your partner looks bankrupt. So sometimes when we expect partner to be bankrupt, we make what's termed a passive lead. So perhaps it wouldn't be so terrible to have led the 2 of diamonds. 2 of diamonds is not a standout choice, but it's unlikely to give too much away, that lead. But the only other point that I forgot about was that East opened 1 diamond, is that right?
Yeah,
As East has opened 1 diamond, now it's harder for us to find that choice, isn't it?
Definitely. I might just pop in there and give all the East-Wests a big sort of high five, especially if you were at my session at Sale a couple of weeks back. And yes, you can make slam today, but I think these hands end up a lot of the time in the dead zone where you've got far too many points for game, but you just don't have enough points for slam. And yes, you might sometimes make 12 or in this case even 13 tricks with a favourable layout, but most of the time you're pretty much expecting you'll take 11.
Yeah, it was
good
too
not to
flat.
get overboard.
I think with 2 flat hands, both balanced hands, it's not a good idea to be too pushy. Sometimes we do what's called high card point excitement. We have 31 or 32 points and we bid 6 no trumps, and that usually goes down. My favourite ever bridge partner his name was Ted Chadwick, and he said to me, David, you're never allowed to bid 6 no trumps. And I said, why not? He said, well, if you can make 6 no trumps, I can bid 7 of a suit and I'll probably do better than you. And Ted was always right.
There you go.
6 no trumps is not a great contract to be in.
Yeah, gets pretty lucky today.
So it's lucky. I guess it's a good contract if you're having a really bad day and you need to improve your day and make it improve. But sometimes it just makes the day get worse.
Yeah, although I mean, board 10 into an 18 board session, you're only halfway through. Not a time to start thinking that it's all doom and gloom, I don't think.
No, you probably do that on board 20.
Yeah. Why don't we sneak sort of one more in? So I think there was a request for board number 15, which seems like it's another one of these sort of awkward hands where you've got a little bit too much for game, but pretty hard to deduce if slam's going to be there. And I do love that I gave sort of this lesson on effectively high card point excitement, or the dead zone as I like to call it. And now we've got all these hands with sort of 30 to 32 points that you definitely can make slam. So there you go. Maybe don't listen to my lesson there. But yeah, let's just jump into 15 now. And again, we did have pretty much everybody get to 3 no trumps. Looks like we had 1 whoops, and then we also had someone that did bid on to 6 diamonds.
Okay, so the difference between board 15 and the other boards is that we actually have a good trump fit if we can find it. So South will open 1 club, North will bid 1 heart, and South will now bid 2 diamonds, which I play shows a very good hand because I've reversed. And Laura's a lot younger than me, so that probably only promises 14 points for her. But for me, it probably promises about 18 or so to reverse. 17 or 18.
I'm not as young as I once was.
So it shows
Good
a good
15.
hand for you?
Yeah, 15, absolute minimum. But like rarely 15.
Yeah. So anyway, after the reverse, I think the North hand quite likes their hand. So over 2 diamonds, maybe they could bid 4 diamonds rather than 3 diamonds. And after 4 diamonds, South could bid Blackwood. People play Roman keycard Blackwood or simple Blackwood.
I think we've got lots of 30-14ers in our midst today.
30-14. So that was Eddie Cantor's first book. He wrote 30-14, and then he wanted to make some more money, so he then changed it and said, "How about we have 14-30?" Is that right? That was the way it
Sounds about right.
Yes. So, there's this guy, Ron Klinger, and he's actually produced 30 or 40 books, I think, now. And each new book seems to be a little change on the earlier ideas. Ron and I had a game about 10 or 20 years ago we played in Japan, and he sent me many, many pages of notes, but I told him I couldn't remember them. Very tough to play with Ron.
Lots of system agreements in there.
When Laura's, yours and Pete's book coming out?
Mine and Pete's books, we're all about the videos.
Yeah, no books anymore, all videos, that's right.
Well, that's interesting, sort of with what you're bringing up, just how much, and what you said earlier about lavings, that, just how even sort of the experts of the game can have their ideas progress and their preferences for systems and things move on so easily.
Yeah, it's interesting that I think that was Eddie Cantor who we were just talking about, wasn't it? And
yep.
Some of Eddie Cantor's books are very entertaining, and he's actually writes in a really nice style of writing, while some of the other writers, they put you off to sleep pretty quickly. He's quite a witty writer. I recommend his books.
Yeah, he's definitely got quite a number of them, and really good writer. I haven't read a bridge book in far too long, unfortunately, but I'm a big fan of Mike Lawrence's books.
Yeah, Mike Lawrence is very good. Interesting thing is Eddie's now about 85, but my wife's in love with Eddie, so she loves all Eddie's stuff. There you go.
You mean a bridge partner or what could potentially be a bridge partner that isn't a Dave? That wouldn't work out.
Yeah, he'd have to change his name, wouldn't he?
He would.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
For people who do also play splinters, North could have potentially splintered on that one as well, just thinking on 15.
So over 1 club, 1 heart, 2 diamonds, they could bid 3 spades, is that right?
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cute. I don't think that necessarily gets South too excited, but it also doesn't mean they put on the brakes.
Yeah, so if we're talking about splinters, have we got another minute to look at number 6?
We do. We've got just under 5 minutes before we wrap up and we all get booted out. But let's jump into number 6 and have a quick look there.
So East passes and South opens 1 spade, and North bids 2 hearts. We probably get an overcall of 2 diamonds along the way. Sorry, I left that out. 1 spade, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, pass. And now the South hand has only 12 points, but it's got a singleton diamond, so that will maybe excite South, do you reckon? So maybe South...
Yeah, especially with partner making sort of the free bid at the 2 level, yep.
So maybe South could bid 4 diamonds. Would that be a good description of South's hand, saying I've got heart support, I like my hand, and I've got shortage in diamonds?
I think that sounds about right. I think they'd prefer a little more, but not too much. I'd do it anyway.
I would bid it. And North will probably be a chicken and sign off in 4 hearts. But if North's kind of feeling in a confident mood, North should say to themselves, well, I thought that my 4 little diamond cards were really bad, but they're actually quite good now, because partner's got a singleton, and now I can trump all those little cards in partner's hand. So anyone who bids the 6 hearts should get an award for bravery, and I think that might make the 6 hearts. Is that right?
Yeah, Deep Finesse has it making, so it works out nicely. We didn't have anyone make 12 tricks, and everyone did stop in 4, but they do just work out so nicely together, those 2 hands.
Yeah, it's a bit risky. You'd have to finesse the Queen of Spades, I think. So that's slight risk, isn't it? But
yeah,
it's easy when you're a computer. You can make all the tricks all the time. You can see all the cards. So,
yeah. I've got a pretty adamant rule because I think I'm generally a bit too slam happy that especially contested auctions with a 2-level overcall, I'm not going anywhere near slam personally.
Yeah, so I've got a little rule about slams. Whenever I have 3 baby cards in partner's suit, partner invites me to go slamming, I always decline. Because if I have 3 baby cards, partner needs to have a fantastic holding for us to make. Then even if partner has like ace, king, queen to 5, opposite my 3 tiny ones, they always end up breaking 4-1 and we go 1 off. So whenever my partner invites me to slam and I have 3 small cards in their suit, I always decline their offer.
I like that theory. Much nicer when you've got a couple, they can just play the ace-king or take their finesse and then hopefully rough 1, if not 2, and have them come good. Much nicer approach to it.
Yeah, but it's interesting also when you bid Grand Slams. So one year I was trying to bid a whole lot of Grand Slams with my partner, and for the whole year we didn't make 1 Grand Slam in the whole year, so that was sad.
Probably stopped bidding those the next year and then made them all.
Oh yeah, then they all rolled in, all those ones.
Well, I think that wraps us up for the night, everybody. You'll be booted out of here pretty shortly in about a minute or so. But thank you very much for joining us in the Sailbridge Club game, and thank you very much to Dave for coming in and joining us and getting to see some people that he would have seen a few years back.
It was all a pleasure, Laura. Thank you very much, Laura.
And congratulations, of course, to our winners, Mary and Diana for North-South, and Val was pulling Pete and I along for East-West. So I'll give a very honourable mention as well to Jill and Sarah coming in second East-West with 61%. Did you want to say anything to farewell the group there, Dave, or should we call it there?
I will call it there, so everyone go home, have a nice evening.
And grab a glass of wine, and cheers to Dave.
Thank you very much.
Over and out. Bye from me.
We are home. Yeah, I forgot that.